salita da cascia. It's 60. No, it's, okay. No, actually I'm very happy to be here. You can imagine, I love to be in New York. I love to spend a part of my life in this town. To be based here for some months, I don't know how many, but a few months. This town, it's easy to love New York, so I'm saying something that everybody knows, you know, it's normal. New York is an incredible town, especially for me, for a musician that was raised up with hip-hop music in his ears. So I'm happy to be here, and especially in this place, you know, Barnes and Nobles, where I've been several times to buy books, hang around, drink coffee. So being here is something great, you know. I couldn't imagine something like that. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Lorenzo, tell us a little bit about your first impressions of New York, because so much of the music that came out of New York in the early 1980s had a big influence on you. What were some of your first impressions of New York?
Yeah, my first impression was very, very far in time because my father was working in Vatican City. We lived very close to the Vatican City. We were actually, our house, our apartment is owned by the Vatican, and it was just outside the wall of the Vatican City. My father was working inside there, and he came to New York once, to the Holy Santa Sede, how you call it, Holy Siege, something like that.
House Queens?
Yes, to the UN. There is a sort of embassy of the Vatican. There is not actually an embassy because the Vatican don't have embassy, but they have nunciature, they call them. Yes. And he came here with a cardinal, and so he came back to Italy with some Super 8 films. And so I remember I was like 6 years old, 7 years old. These evenings in our family with my father is a very antique thing, but he has like a screen and the Super 8 doing with no sound, and he was, you know, hanging around New York, the skyscrapers, the top of the Empire State Building, the Twin Towers coming up, you know, they were still not open yet. I remember this was the first impression. And then the second big shot was coming from hip-hop, from rap. It was 79, so I was 13 years old, and it was an evening in the room outside the kitchen. We had this room we called it the anti-cucina, we called it in Italian. So it's like the anti-kitchen. Yeah, it's like that. You remember the anti-kitchen? There was like Tinello anti-kitchen. And there was a television, we were looking at TV, and there was a news magazine on the TV called Odeon on Rai.